All right, so sorry about that. Got cut off last time. But that is what happens when you do not pay attention to the fact that the little bar that says this is how much has gone by hits the end of the screen, and it's like, oh, whoops, well, you've messed up. But continuing what I was saying, I didn't drive too much. Junior year, like I said, I didn't have a job, so I didn't have money to drive. Cars are expensive. Cars are very expensive. So for me, it was just like, all right, fuck it. I ain't really gonna drive. I drove every now and again. I drove to certain places. So the next, my senior year, I basically drove every day. Like the first day of school, I didn't drive because I wanted to ride the bus. Just for those days, it's like, okay, I'm gonna ride the bus so that I don't. What's the word? So that when I decide that I don't feel like driving, I can ride the bus. The bus driver knows who I am, knows I ride the bus, blah 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 blah. So I come for some strange reason. Bus drivers be having these. You don't ride the bus. You don't ride on my bus. Oh, I'm like, you don't know none of the circumstances. Maybe I've had a car. Maybe I moved. What the hell was that in the background? Sounded like it was a guy typewriting. But anyway, so it was one of those like, just precautionary. Then I was like, I just ain't riding no bus. I just can't go. I don't remember exactly what made me start doing it anymore, but I ended up selling brownies. I sold brownies and I sold Albanese candy. So the cost, the actual total revenue from the Albanese was so marginal that I kind of was like, it's not really that big of a deal to me. Like I stopped doing because the total, I was slightly over breaking even with it. It's just like how you proportion everything is very important. If I reduced everything by half, I could have made double the amount, but the customer probably would not want to buy half the product for the same price. But who knows? So anyway, plus people would always like, is it full? How many is in here? It's like I take the time, I hand count everything. But with that being said, I kind of stopped that. I just stuck to brownies, and the brownies was quite effective. I only made 16 a day, which meant I had a good supply and demand thing because my supply was low and they were good, so people wanted them, so people would come find me for them. I know people who were selling buttloads of cookies and brownies as well. It was like their supply and demand was all over the place. They had 5-6 batches of brownies, 5-6 batches of cookies, and it was like, well, what happens here? I could, it's just like, well, they have it, so the chances of them selling out is less likely. Me, I only had so much, so the chances of me selling out was much more likely. I could, and mind you, I only had 2 pans, and that was partial to why I didn't make more. If I had 3, I probably would have. I started to buy another one just for the sake of having it, but I had 2 pans, and I wasn't gonna make it, then wash the pan out, and then redo it, because that would take twice as long. I would have to bake it twice, which meant what would take 40 minutes would technically take around, and I'm rounding up here for simplification factors, around an hour, 2 hours, because the whole process itself, 40 minutes to bake, actually kind of closer to 50, but let's say 40 minutes to bake, 20 minutes of prep. So about an hour. So it boosts that up to 2 hours. So I would either have to wake up earlier or leave out even later So yeah, that just wasn't going. And with me, since I only had 16, people wanted mine first. So mind you, 16 a day, 5 days, round up to 20. That's almost 100. Subtract 4 times 5, which is 20. So subtract 20 from 100, have 80. That's about $80 a day. That's right. About $80 a week. My bad. Mind you, I had a pickup. I had a great pickup. $20 a week, and it was happy. So I had money. Now, not every day did I sell out, and not every day this, or that. But I had a decent supply of money. When that car broke, because you don't buy a car with 375,000 miles on it, just don't. It's not wise. But when that thing went out, it was just like, okay, well, to the bus, which means no more brownies, because I can't get to the store to buy the brownie mix to actually make brownies to sell them to you guys. Because what I used to do is, before I came home, I'd just go pick up some brownies, some eggs, and whatever else I needed. Can't do that. You know, you can't really do that when you don't have any money, any transportation. So that marked the end of that. That was done. And people was really like, I want it. I was like, I can't help you. I have no car. So it was probably around January in which I took over my dad's van. He's like, well, take the van. I was like, fine. And that van takes about $40 a week to fill up. I really wasn't into $40 a week. But he ended up paying for it. He said, I'll pay for it. Okay, fine. $40 a week. And then towards the warmer months, right before summer, it was like, where's my money? You're not paying me gas money. This is costing me money now. This is a problem. I was like, well, no. Cut the grass. And I'm like, I have a van. So basically, I would have to take the van seats out to put the lawnmower in and go cut grass. To me, it wasn't worth it. Now again, this is, as far as I'm concerned, a breach of an agreement. The agreement was, I take the van, you put gas in it. That was the agreement. Otherwise, I would have never took it. The agreement changed, thus my desire to go places changed. Because if I have to cut grass just for money, it's not worth it to me. See, this is why I said earlier on in the video that I came into the speakeasy and got some machetes, and this is the speakeasy, the machetes, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, like I was saying, so it was like, okay, I really ain't interested in going. But then I had a lot of people who were just paying me to take them places. So I was like, fuck it. That's how I make money. And, you know, the brownie business was decent. So I had a bunch of people asking me for them brownies, boy. A hell of people wanted brownies. Anyway. But when that went away, when that van was totaled by an asshole who can't fucking drive, this bitch, you try and be nice to someone, you try and move out of their way for them, and then they fuck up. So never again will I be nice. Never again will I move out of their way. I'm just gonna, you're gonna go slower, or you're gonna have to go in front of, go around, because I'm not moving. But when that happened, I basically was screwed because I have no transportation. And me being who I am, I don't ask people for stuff. I have one person who I'll ask for stuff out here. And that's because they didn't really make it a big deal. And I was a little upset because when I came here in a previous recording, it was guys who sold shit. So I was kind of upset when I got to this location. But anyway, back to the story. She didn't really make a big deal out of it. She never asked for gas. I offered, but she would never, like, no, you don't need to. I'm like, okay. But everyone else, the first question is, like, do you have gas? I'm like,